It has finally come to that time of the year to take a look back at the best of the best. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the must-read comics of 2014 now that Luke Dormehl's list is finally out. So let's get started. After years on the shelf as an inactive superhero, thanks to a Joker-fired bullet, Barbara Gordon's Batgirl is finally back in action. Gail Simone's post-New 52 run on the character was so-so, hampered with far too much grittiness for a hero who should be the antithesis of perennial brooder Batman. Thankfully, the new creative team of Cameron Stewart and Brendan Fletcher are fast transforming Batgirl into the most 21st century hero out there. If you're looking for a lighter, more action-packed character that's more in tune with the 21st century, think coffee shops, selfies and social media, this is a book to pick up. Batgirl hasn't been so much fun since the first 25 or so issues of Cassie Cain's standalone Batgirl comic from 2000. A bit like Batgirl, writer and artist combo Mark Waid and Chris Samney have helped steer away from the omnipresent world of dark and gritty heroes by moving Daredevil to San Francisco. The change in scenery offers a fresh start for both Matt Murdock and would-be new readers, and so far it has paid off perfectly. The art is gorgeous, the mysteries are intriguing, and the characterization is superb. And there's enough action to keep everyone happy. Despite not being a movie box office draw on the level of Iron Man or Captain America, Daredevil shows here why he's one of Marvel's best heroes. If there's one comic book this year that has been spread purely by good word of mouth, it's Matt Fraction's Sex Criminals. Telling the story of a young actor and a librarian who have sex after meeting at a party, only to discover that their orgasms are capable of freezing time. The series fuses crime drama, romance, comedy, and a fair bit of raunchiness too. If there's one thing we love about this series, it's the fact that it continues to surprise us even after we get past its high concept premise. Brian K. Vaughan's epic space saga called, well, Saga, just keeps getting better and better. If you're eagerly awaiting the new Star Wars movie, or the next season of Game of Thrones, but have yet to check this out, then Saga is your holiday reading list taken care of straight away. Perhaps most impressive of all is what the series continues to do with the monthly format. Not just telling an ongoing story that remains gripping from issue to issue, but also fleshing out an entire comic book universe that may just be one of the richest of all time. What do you do after creating Scott Pilgrim, one of the most popular indie comics of the last decade? Having superbly told Scott's story over the course of 6 years and 6 separate digest-sized black and white graphic novels, creator Brian Lee O'Malley could be forgiven for not managing to replicate that kind of creative success a second time round. If the appropriately titled Seconds is anything to go by, however, O'Malley is just getting started. Seconds concerns Katie, the 20-something owner of a restaurant who gets the power to change her past by writing mistakes down in a notebook, eating a mushroom and falling asleep, only to wind up creating more problems. Seconds is only one book so far, but already it's a much more mature work than Scott Pilgrim. O'Malley's writing resonates more than, while his artwork has a new level of assurance to it. With so many great titles on this list, it's tough to pick an overall winner. But if you're only going to buy one title, we say make it this one. Wonder Woman is a character that has consistently been shortchanged through comic book history, having an iconic 1970s TV series, but relatively little else. That all changed a few years back when Brian Azzarello and artist Cliff Chiang took on the character and wrote what will go down in history as the definitive 3-year Wonder Woman run, which came to a close in late 2014. Too many creators try and put their own stamp on the characters they are writing for, but in the meantime, ripping up what's most memorable about the characters to start with. Azzarello certainly jettisons part of the Wonder Woman legend along the way, but it's all a means to explore just who Wonder Woman is and why she matters. The Wicked and the Divine depicts a world where every 90 years or so, an event called the Recurrence takes place, in which gods return to Earth. For 2 years, they live the high life as rap stars, rockers and scenesters before they have to die. Okay, so it's a Miley Cyrus 15 minutes of fame, parable for the TMZ generation, but at the same time, it also has a sort of 1990s Vertigo vibe, being the kind of comic that could have sat alongside The Sandman and other such titles. The art by Jamie McKelvey is nothing short of godlike, no pun intended. Whilst we're talking about comics that could have come out in the 1990s, The Love Bunglers, written by Love and Rocket's Jamie Hernandez, is a graphic novel that absolutely should be mentioned. It's the latest instalment of Hernandez's long-running series, and it could be the end of the line too. If so, it's the perfect note to go out on. Running from the middle of 2013 to the middle of this year, Batman Zero Year has been nothing short of epic. Although it has played out in comics as wide-ranging as Batgirl, Action Comics, and yes, even Green Lantern Corps, the bulk of Year Zero has taken place in the pages of Batman, which continues to go from strength to strength, courtesy of writer-artist team Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Zero Year is yet another retelling of Batman's origin story, but it does it with sufficient differences to make this not feel like a reread. It's also the most significant Riddler story we've had in ages. In an age where comic books are down from their high point in the 1990s, whilst movies like The Avengers are raking in billions at the box office, it's easy to imagine that major comic book franchises like Spider-Man would be required to tick along without rocking the boat. Fortunately for us though, there are a few signs of that happening. Over in the Ultimate Universe, Peter Parker is done being Spider-Man, with the web-slinger role handed over instead to Miles Morales. In this year's Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man, we've had built toward a confrontation between Morales' Spidey and Norman Osborn's Green Goblin. The pace has been a little bit slow for some readers, but we've always loved Brian Bendis' insistence on creating characters you come to care about, and this title is no different. So there you have it, the must-read comics of 2014. But I want to know, was your favourite comic on the list? Let us know in the comments down below. Until next time, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single video from Cult of Mac, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button as it really does help us out. I'll see you next time.